Welcome to Cameron Sports Podcast. It's your host here, Cameron Lindsay, with a brand new episode. Today's episode will be officially be episode 1 of my road to WrestleMania 42. As you know, like I said, I also cover WWE on my podcast. Like I said, along with football on all levels, basketball, boxing, baseball, hockey. Talk about all sports whenever there's something going on that's interesting that I feel like my audience or fan base of that particular sport might want to hear about, talk about. I cover it. But yeah, like I said, this road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is in April. It's 2 nights. So like I said, I was like, you know what? This is gonna be episode 1 of Road to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. Like I said, last year, WrestleMania 41 was in Las Vegas. Also, it was supposed to be in New Orleans, but some stuff happened. I think that the schedule conflict, something happened to where they had to cancel it in New Orleans. That's going to be in Las Vegas again. Allegiant Stadium, where the Las Vegas Raiders play again. So yeah, let's get right into it. It's time to touch down with Cam. Let's get right into these topics. First topic, also obviously, Roman Reigns, the 2026 men's and women's Royal Rumble winners, Roman Reigns and Liv Morgan, both won the 2026 Royal Rumble matches for men's and women's. Roman, he wasted no time picking his challenger. Like I said, again, as I said in the previous episode, when I made my when I talked about the Royal Rumble, the winner of the Royal Rumble match for the men's and women's has an opportunity to go on to WrestleMania and main event night 1 or night 2 with a world title match at WrestleMania. It's a 30-man, 30-woman Royal Rumble match, 30 superstars. You win when you throw your opponent over the top rope and both feet hit the floor, and you're declared the winner if you're the last one remaining in the ring. In the OTC, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief Roman Reigns, won the Royal Rumble, and like I said, went on Raw the following Monday to talk about who he's going to pick, and then the World Heavyweight Champion, the best in the world, CM Punk, came out and said, obviously he thinks he should pick him because he's the best in the world. He's one of the top superstars right now. He's the better champion than Drew is on SmackDown. And Roman, like I said, that promo was awesome. They went edit Roman telling him like he hate him, that he always hated him, especially 10, 12 years ago. For those of you that have been watching wrestling for a long time, CM Punk left WWE about 12 years ago. And, he was at that time, he was one of the biggest superstars in the company. He just came off a 434 title reign, 434 days as WWE champion, which is still one of the longest reigns of the modern era. Up there with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and CM Punk. Even though I think CM Punk's reign as champion is better than Brock Lesnar's at that time when he was Universal Champion. But he's one of the top superstars, and I guess some conflicts outside of the ring, the business side of WWE, that he didn't like. The person that was in charge, Vince McMahon at the time, even though Vince McMahon is no longer the CEO, and he's gone. Like I said, stuff was going on. He, backstage, beefing, as you could say, and he ended up leaving the company. And then when he left, he was going on podcasts, interviews, talking bad about WWE, the people that's in charge, certain superstars like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, people like that. And then when CM Punk came back about 2 years ago, a lot of people were messing with it. Seth Rollins, Drew, Roman, I think Triple H, who's one of the head creativity people in WWE, he talked to Roman, let him ask him, they was asking him if it was okay for CM Punk to come back, if they could be cordial. And Roman saying guess who they came to? Me. And he feels like Punk should be grateful that he's back in WWE because of him. He tried to be nice about it. He tried the best he could, but he felt like CM Punk was mocking him after that Survivor Series match that they lost to Brock and Lesnar in the Vision, Paul Heyman and them. He felt like after that match when they was walking up the ramp, CM Punk holding his title up, mocking Roman. So he said he's not picking him because he's the best superstar. He's one of the top superstars in WWE. He's not picking him because he's the better champion. He's picking him because he hates him. He hates him so much that at WrestleMania, he wants him to acknowledge him on the biggest stage of them all. WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl in the NFL. That's how big WrestleMania is. Like, you look at the views, WrestleMania views pretty much just as big or a little bit bigger than the Super Bowl every year. So, and I think that promo set it off. He said at one point, he's like, he called CM Punk by his government name. He said, Phil, he's out, because he was telling Roman that picking Drew McIntyre, who's the undisputed WWE champion on SmackDown, will be the easy way out. And Roman's like, he said, Phil, he said, I don't know if you know this. He said, but Drew's 4 times bigger than you. And he said the last time CM Punk and Drew McIntyre fought was inside, about a year and a half ago. And they was fighting because of that bracelet. He had him basically crying over the bracelet. And the same bracelet Roman was talking about, he had on his wrist. Excuse me. And CM Punk said, careful. He said, because after he was done with Drew, they ran out of staples putting his dumb you-know-what back together. And, that was a great promo. And then CM Punk talking about had to get help from your family to beat Drew and blah, blah, blah. He said, just because Roman was undisputed champion for a little bit over 1,300 days. And CM Punk, when he was world champion back before he left the company, was 434 days before he lost it to The Rock. And he said just because he did it longer than Punk as world champion doesn't mean he did it better, because Punk had more title defenses than Roman. And he did, but I still like Roman's title reign. I know a lot of people, some people don't. I still like it. It made his character, the way he walked, talk. That was a real good title reign. Him and Punk, two title reigns, 1A, 1B, whatever you want to go with it. So they went at it with that. So that was a real good promo. That already started this road to WrestleMania off to a great start. This could be an amazing main event. One of the best WrestleMania main events in history with CM Punk and Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. Like I said, but I'm gonna get later into it about this potential WrestleMania main event. But let's get into the next part of this topic. The Women's World Rumble winner, Liv Morgan. She attacked the Women's World Champion, Stephanie Becker, after her title defense against fellow Judgment Day member Raquel Rodriguez. Then she had a visit on SmackDown, confronted the WWE Women's Champion, Jade Cargill. Now, obviously, being a Royal Rumble winner, you can pick which champion. And I just watched SmackDown last night, and on Twitter X, I saw that it's been reported that Liv Morgan will pick her champion that she's going to face at WrestleMania this upcoming Monday on Monday Night Raw. And I already know who she's going to pick, because it just doesn't make any sense for her to pick Jade Cargill. That matchup, it really don't. I mean, well, you could. Technically, I've seen matchups that maybe not made too much sense, but ended up being good. But I just think the storyline, because she don't really have no history with Jade, and I just think it makes more sense for her to pick Stephanie Becker, because one, you can go two routes if she's picked Stephanie. You could be one-on-one, because obviously she's already got a little beef with Stephanie. They already got a little bit of promos going on Raw, so she already attacked her, so you can see that. Or option two, you can go with that. She still picks Stephanie, but Raquel gets in the mix. Maybe, I don't know if Raquel wins the chamber, and then something happens with that, or I don't know, whatever. It becomes a triple threat match, even though last year they did a triple threat match for the women's world title with Bianca, Io, and Rhea. So I don't know if they'll do it for the second straight year in a row. Because it's like, dang, like WrestleMania already was in Las Vegas again last year. It's in again this year. And then the women's world title was a triple threat match last year. Now it's again this year. So, yeah, but I like I said, I think one-on-one, you could make something that could be a great storyline. That could potentially be a WrestleMania Night 1 main event. So I think that'd be a good right there. And plus, like I said, Liv, she well-deserved. She's been runner-up like twice, I think. If I recall in my last episode I talked about, she's been a runner-up about twice in the women's Royal Rumble match. She's a 2-time world champion. Stephanie McCare is one of the hottest top women's wrestlers in all of WWE, not just on Monday Night Raw. Like I said, she's a women's world champion. On NXT, she won the North American and NXT Women's Championship at the same time. She had 2 titles before she came onto the main roster. So I think it'll be a really good matchup between them two. I would have loved to see Liv versus Raquel, because I think that could have been even more, could have been better also. But I mean, if that would have happened, I mean, it's too late now because it's, like I said, we're on the road to WrestleMania. So if Raquel gets involved, it had to be a triple threat match. It wouldn't make no sense for Stephanie to drop it and then like what she's gonna do, So unless she gets injured, not knocking on glass that she don't, but we'll see. Now, next topic is about AJ Lee, the wife of CM Punk, former WWE superstar legend. She's going to face off against the current Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch in Chicago at Elimination Chamber. For those you know, the next pay-per-view is next week in Chicago, Illinois, in their hometown. The Elimination pay-per-view is about pretty much the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Like I said, WrestleMania's in April, so we got about like a month and a half or 2 before then. Elimination Chamber is usually the last pay-per-view before the WrestleMania. And so how this matchup became is that, first off, of course, when AJ Lee came back, she came back because she felt like Becky was disrespecting her husband, the current World Heavyweight Champion. She felt like it was 2 against 1 because when CM Punk was feuding with Seth Rollins over the World Heavyweight Championship after Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank at SummerSlam to take the title from Punk. Ozzy, and they had their match, and then Becky Lynch got involved, cost Punk the title, and then, obviously, as a wife, you can protect your husband against whether it's another man or another wife. She came to protect her man. So that happened. They beat them at WrestleMania Palooza, and then Survivor Series War Games came. AJ's team beat Becky's team. So that's 2 victories already she has on her. So she felt like, I've beaten you twice. I feel like now I deserve a championship match. And I agree. Now, this match has been reported that this could potentially be a WrestleMania match. And I thought it was going to happen at WrestleMania, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. But they decided to do Elimination Chamber. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen at WrestleMania 42 this year. And this is what I mean. It's very possible that we could get this match again at WrestleMania 42 if AJ Lee wins the title. So this is what I think is going to happen. I think AJ potentially is going to win the title. And obviously they're going to feud. They're going to continue to feud all the way to WrestleMania. And then I think, because AJ Lee's not full-time. She's not a full-time wrestler like Punk is. She's been out for years. So I don't expect her to come back and just automatically be full-time. And, so I think she's going to win at Elimination Chamber in Chicago. And then at WrestleMania, I think she's gonna probably drop the title back to Becky, and that's gonna be a real good match right there. Or like I said, they could have her lose in the Elimination Chamber and win at WrestleMania if they do that. But I think she's probably gonna win the title at Elimination Chamber, and then in a rematch, Becky's gonna win back the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So I think this is gonna be a really good matchup right here with the Women's Intercontinental Championship. This title has been really good since it's been introduced in WWE. It's a great mid-card title. Like I said, I'm glad to see the women's division, shining with this title. It means something. It's like the Intercontinental Championship for the men's. It's always been like the workhorse title. Like people like Stone Cold, Bret Hart, or Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, people like that have fought over the title in years and years before I was even born. Fought over this title and made it prestige. So it's good to see the women having this title and putting a spotlight on it that it deserves. And I know most likely it's going to be defended at WrestleMania. Last year it wasn't defended at WrestleMania. This year it will be, I know for a fact. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a great matchup. Next topic, the men's Elimination Chamber qualifiers so far for the WWE Championship. As I said at the beginning of today's show, Roman Reigns picked CM Punk to face at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. So that leaves the other world champion from the other brand, SmackDown, without an opponent. So that leaves the men's Elimination Chamber to be for the number one contender for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. And so far, the qualifiers are Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, Jevon Evans, and now from last night, Trick Williams. So that leaves 5. There's 5 spots. What I think so far, I think it's a really good field. Like I said, you got a 14-time world champion in Randy Orton. You got a 2-time undisputed champion, WWE champion in Cody Rhodes. You got LA Knight, a potential world champion. You got Jevon Evans, who could definitely potentially be a world champion one day, and Trick Williams, I think, also who's going to be a world champion one day. So that's 5 superstars. It's already looking good for the chamber. Based off of and there's one more spot left. They're going to be filled next week on Monday between Bronson Reed, Jey Uso, and I think Penta, a triple threat match. So I think to complete that, I feel like Jey Uso should be in that match, should win that match. I hope so, but the way it's looking like, WWE could change, because I'm thinking last night Charlotte potentially is going to get in the women's, but she didn't. I thought Gunther from last Monday was going to get in. He didn't. So if not Jey Uso, I could probably see Penta. I could see any of them three, to be honest, getting in. But from this field of 5 that already has qualified for WWE Championship, I think most likely it's going to be Cody Rhodes to win. I just think. Now last night Drew attacked Randy, but I just don't see that. It just makes sense for Cody. I hope if Cody does win that it's a stipulation, because him and Drew has fought over the title for the past 6-8 months. And I just feel like a regular match not going to do. You had a 3 stages of hell. I just think, like I said, I seen somebody on Instagram say it. A Hell in a Cell match will be perfect at WrestleMania for the Undisputed Championship. If you don't do a triple threat match between Jacob or Drew, or if you do triple threat match, make it a Hell in a Cell, you can still make it a Hell in a Cell. I definitely would like to see that. Either, like I said, 3 options. You can do, if it's one-on-one, Hell in a Cell. If it's a triple threat match, Hell in a Cell. Or if it's still one-on-one, make it an I Quit match. I would love to see that at WrestleMania. That would be a fire match. That's definitely night 1 main event. I would have no problem if it's any of those 3. It could be the night 1 over the women's world title match. That's the only way I'd be fine with that. And like I said again, I just think it makes more sense for Cody to win, but to challenge Drew for the WWE Championship. If not, Jacob Fatu, make it a triple threat match. I think that's the only logical ways you go about it. Now, next topic, the women's Elimination Chamber qualifiers. You got Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Tiffany Stratton, Asuka, and now Kiana James, which shocked me. I thought Charlotte was going to get in, but apparently, like I said, WWE, it's like I'm shocked, but at the point, the more I think about it, it makes more sense, because WWE, they make some surprises that you don't think are going to happen. But based off these 5, I'm not gonna lie. Let me narrow it down. I don't think Kiana, obviously. Like I said, I think the winner of this match is gonna face Jade. So Kiana, I don't see. Asuka, I don't really see, because she's with the Kabuki Warriors. And yeah. Alexa Bliss, no. That leaves Tiffany and Rhea. Rhea and Jade would definitely be a banger on paper. That would be a fire match on paper for the Women's WWE Championship. Tiffany has history with Jade because she lost her title.
Let's see if this list lives up to its hype. Got it. Playing a mix of No Tiffany and Radio MJ on Amazon Music.
No, stop. Oh, hold on, y'all. No. Lord have mercy, man. I had to leave mid-show to turn off an Amazon thing. Back to what I was saying before I was really interrupted. Sorry about that, y'all. About that. That's why eventually I'm going to start editing these shows. Like I said, I'm moving into a new apartment, so I can start doing editing on this show and putting something that I have had stored in the vault that I can't wait to show y'all. But anyway, like I said, Tiffany lost the title to Jade, and so I think it only makes more sense for her to potentially face her in a rematch because they got history. Now the last spot is open, I think, to Raquel. Who else? Io. That's another spot I forgot, but I think it's in between a Tiffany and Rhea. It just makes no sense for those two. And if I had to pick, I would slightly go Rhea. I wouldn't be mad at Tiffany. I would slightly go Rhea because Rhea is one of the top women in all of WWE, one of the top superstars, regardless of gender, male or women. My girlfriend, she really haven't, before we met, ain't really watched wrestling, but since she's been watching it, because I watch it, and she's sitting there watching it, she says she likes Rhea Ripley is one of her favorites to watch in WWE, men or women's. And I'm pretty sure she'll like to see her fight at WrestleMania. So I think that matchup on paper between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley would definitely be a banger. That right there is a night one main event worthy right there between Jade and Rhea. If they do it right, if they do the story right, the promos, all that, the promoting the match, they do it right, could be a potential main event night one possibility. So those are the qualifiers so far. There's one spot left. There'll be also Monday Night Raw next week. Now on to this next topic. That's regarding the World Heavyweight Championship. The current World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk, will defend the title in a rematch against Finn Balor, who he beat a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. But because Finn Balor attacked CM Punk was mad. Finn Balor wanted a rematch, and he said, okay, I'll give it to you. But Adam Pearce, the Raw general manager, didn't want that because the main event at WrestleMania between him and Roman Reigns is too big of a risk to put that on jeopardy, because if he loses the title, that match goes away and it's just going to be like all for nothing. It's going to be like, what if? And a lot of people, it's like, I've seen a lot of people on social media like, this could be a Daniel Bryan type of storyline. Because remember back in, I think it was 2014, WrestleMania 30, when Batista came back and won the Royal Rumble, he challenged Randy Orton, who was the current World Heavyweight Champion, WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and they was gonna face off. And then Daniel Bryan, that movement, the Yes movement started. He beat Triple H at WrestleMania. He got into that world title match and made it a triple threat. He ended up winning, made Batista tap out. Cool. Now that at that time, that I'm fine with that. Even though Batista won the Royal Rumble, but this one, no. I'm sorry. That happened again back in 2021, I think, when Edge won the Royal Rumble, and it was supposed to be him and Roman, and then Daniel Bryan got into that match. Now, at that time, he didn't win. Roman ended up retaining, and he pinned them both to win. But this time, no. I'm sorry, no. I like Finn. I think he deserves better. I think he will be. I think he should be World Heavyweight Champion next year. Sometime later this year. But right now, no. Sorry, this match is too big to ruin, to put Finn in. I think he deserves a great singles run again. He will get that. But this is not making any sense. Because if Finn Balor wins the title at Elimination Chamber next week on Saturday, next week on this day Saturday, this will cause a triple threat match. Because obviously CM Punk's not going to lose the title and just sit back like, oh well. No, it's going to be a triple threat. And then it's like, dang man, we could have had CM Punk, the best in the world, versus the OTC Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and that's gonna ruin that. I hope WWE don't. If they ruin that, I may just stop watching WWE and cover it on my channel, because that would make me mad right there. I really would. But let's hope not. But regarding of that match, the last topic, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for the world title needs to have main event WrestleMania Night 2. Like I said in the beginning of the show, Roman Reigns, the hate he has for CM Punk is real. It goes back to when he left WWE 10, 12 years ago. Like I said, this is not no storyline. There's not no pretend. he literally hates this man. Seth Rollins hates this man. I just seen an interview on Club Shay Shay. Shannon Sharp, Pro Football Hall of Famer, had Seth Rollins as a guest on Club Shay Shay. Even he's told him why he still hates CM Punk, because he left WWE. He was friends with CM Punk. He ghosted him. He don't know why. He started reaching out. He ghosted him. He went on podcasts and shows talking bad about Seth, Roman, Drew, the company, bashing him, and still ain't reached back out to him when he tried to reach out to CM Punk. So that hate is real between these men, like that Seth and Roman and Drew have for Punk. That when Drew and Seth was feuding with Punk, that wasn't just no storyline. That was real. So the hate he has for him is legit real. That it makes this main event even better to watch. The storyline, the promos, it makes it even more better. Like, who is the best between these two men? The OTC or the best in the world? That right there on paper is literally a movie title that they just cannot ruin. Please let it be the main event of night 2. Please. Like I wrote down here, this has a chance to be one of the best WrestleMania main events in WWE history. You got The Rock and John Cena. You got Hogan and The Rock. Stone Cold and The Rock. You got matches like that. HBK and Undertaker. You know, stuff like that. Like, you could argue John Cena and The Rock potentially, or maybe if one day, hopefully, we get The Rock versus Roman Reigns, that right there probably could be the biggest main event. But this right here definitely has a chance between the best in the world and Roman Reigns, the OTC. These two men, the top superstars in WWE, two of the top 3 superstars in WWE right now, going at it for the heavyweight title of the world. Roman Reigns and CM Punk definitely got history. It goes back 10, 12 years ago to now, and I can't wait to see this match at WrestleMania. Like I said, if you're a WWE fan, I definitely hope you are excited too, because it's definitely going to be the main event if WWE does not mess it up by having Finn Balor win the Elimination Chamber or sneak his way in, because that would literally ruin this man. I wouldn't even want it to main event WrestleMania if Finn got in. There is no way, like, at all, if he gets in, this should be main event. Like, no, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about today's episode. Road to WrestleMania episode 1. Like I said, we're on the road to it to April. So I'm going to slowly make some episodes talking about it, what's going on. Obviously, I'm going to make my Elimination Chamber predictions next week. That'll be episode 2 on the road to WrestleMania. And yeah, if you want to touch down with Cam, and also, I always want to see episodes like this regarding any sport, football, baseball, hockey. Baseball season about to start next month. We already got spring training, got spring games going on, finna start. March Madness finna start, and college basketball, men's and women's. So we got that coming up. Hockey, you know, I know that's going on right now. The NHL, you know, the Olympics and all that. The NBA, the second half of the NBA season going on. We got that, like, so we got a lot of stuff. High school, I still got to make my final high school football rankings, talk some high school football, college football, NFL draft. So got a lot to talk about, you know, and interviews I'm going to do. So if, like I said, again, you want to touch down with Cam, follow me. Make sure to follow me on all social medias, Twitter X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on that. Cameron Sports Podcast, we're on that. And like I said, make sure to click that subscribe button, turn on all post notifications so you can stay updated. You may want to watch it right then and there, watch it later. Don't worry, the episode's going to be there. Your favorite host is not going anywhere. Because like I said, but as long as you don't forget to like and subscribe, we good. We good. Like I said, let's get to 500. That's the next goal, get to 500 subscribers. Like I said, we'll get it. And then one day get to 1,000. I mean, or you can get to 1,000 subscribers this year. I ain't going to complain. But I'll catch y'all next time for another episode. This has been Cameron Sports Podcast, touching down with you. And I'm going to catch y'all next time for another episode. Take care.